Today I want to talk about Miss Nagatoro again, because for like I said before, for like the my top 10 favorite chapters of Miss Nagatoro, I said before how I got 10,000 views, but to my shock, still get more views. Like it now has like 20,000, so it's like I was not expecting that at all. So that's why might as well talk about Miss Nagatoro. And also for my saying for my thank you Miss Nagatoro video that got 1,000 views also. So it's just like a big shock. That just shows how Miss Nagatoro still is beloved and still talk about. So yeah, I'm just very glad, and might as well talk about more. So yeah, as you read like the title of this video, talk about like one loose thread when it comes to the whole Miss Nagatoro. Like to me, it's been years, so I'm not sure if this has been like already covered or I missed a chapter. Like the among each of the bonus chapters. It's just like yeah. So anyway, so in the very beginning, like the first few chapters of Miss Nagatoro, Senpai and her played a game. Well, yeah, knowing Nagato's antics, she said, was playing like the nipple poking game, and this is like one good example why I like the series so much, because Nagato calls Senpai a pervert, but the truth is she's the one that's like the pervert. She's the one that's coming up with these shenanigans, because like she said, was poking Charles' nipples, and whoever wins gets like do whatever you want, ticket. So she knew, that like after she, does that to him, that he would do the same. But she's like, time's up, even though there was no timer when she was doing it. But anyways, yeah. So that was like the one loose end that was never covered, and this is like a common thing that never realized before when it comes to like the most like mangaka is that that you should do leave like a loose plot point, whatever. It's like very, to my surprise, like a lot more common than it is. But this is like the one thing, because like it's just like it's a slice of life that doesn't really matter that much, but still it's just one thing that like kind of like keeps me up at night, like after all these years. So when it came to the ticket, like I had like a few theories. So like my biggest one was like when Nagato was facing against like her old rival, like the first time, if she loses, and she used to take it, but no, she won. And then for like, like I call it the training arc, both Senpai and Nagato, doing the whole thing, her like training for like the actual like a real tournament, like that, against like the schools, whatever, against her rival again. And Senpai for his like, to get into his like art school. Yeah, so I thought, at that time, if one of them lose, she would use the ticket. If she lost, she would use it, and because they said, we're gonna at that time they said, we're gonna kiss for the first time. So I thought, maybe one of them was gonna lose, but I guess to my surprise, technically, that both succeeded. She won the tournament, and he got to like the school he wanted. And so I thought, what's the next time? Yeah, oh yeah, so. She was ready, to throw that away, with the whole, like, hey, like, the whole bet, whatever, when they were, like, still training at the time, before the real thing happened, when they got into the mixed bath. But Senpai was like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you afraid you might lose? And, yeah, so that's why, and I feel like the last chance the ticket could have been brought up was, like, the final chapter, like, kind of like the epilogue chapter where, it's a kind of like a time skip where, if it's like Nagatoro's birthday, and Senpai's like, you want to live with each other. And I thought, because the thing you don't know about Nanashi, he did, make some more spicy content, if you know what I mean, before becoming, like, doing, like, official manga stuff. So I think, if he, like I say, if it's his choice, if he wants to get back to that or not. But I just said, maybe, since they already did the kiss, the next step is, there's, like, the first place, second place, third place, home run. So, maybe home run, for the ticket, but no, it's just like kind of unfortunately forgotten about. Yeah, it's a shame, but who knows if he goes back to doing Nagato to find close that loose to like get rid of that loose end. But like I said, it would have been nice, if somebody went home run, because he already covered all the bases. Even he did like third base before even doing doing the first and second base. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like it, do Duncan Plays whenever, and yeah, until next time. Bye!